So I'll speak up as loud as I can. So Justin Trudeau. What's Justin Trudeau in the future of Canada? Now, I find it really interesting that Justin Trudeau has now come to save the Liberal Party of Canada, when the reality is that Pierre Trudeau could not have cared less about the Liberal Party of Canada. Before he joined the Liberal Party, he did nothing but insult and denigrate their leaders. Remember calling Lester B. Pearson the defrocked Prince of Peace, and insulting all of the Quebec MPs, saying that they were basically donkeys who responded, to the herd master. And after he left office, he did nothing but undermine John Turner and his ability to lead the Liberal Party. So Pierre Trudeau could not have cared less about the Liberal Party, and now we've got Justin trying to save the day. When Pierre Trudeau would have been just as happy had the NDP been in power. So what does the future hold for Justin Trudeau? Now, my book is not about Justin, and I don't claim to really to know and understand what goes on through his mind, but everything that I have seen so far tells me that he has inherited the thinking, the legacy, the outlook of his father. When he was saying he was for the trade deal with China, I don't think that was him talking about economics. It was him talking about how he thinks Canada should be friendly towards China. Think of this. In 1989, the year after the Tiananmen Square massacre, who was the first Western former leader to go to China in 1989 and go to Tiananmen Square? It was Pierre Trudeau with his sons, who he was exposing to China. So if Justin was here and he asked me for my advice, I would say, Justin, for political advice, you should stand on your own 2 feet. And if you want to show, that you are your own man, I would say nothing about your father except to the extent you disagree with him. Tell him you think his economic policies were horrible, that his spending habits and his deficit habits were awful. And his approach to Quebec was wrong-headed. But he's not going to do that. I think he's going to, he very much like Pierre Trudeau, from 1965 through to 1968, he did not expose his full thinking. He did not say, what he meant by a just society. In fact, he tried to downplay that in his words, but his actions speak volumes. And my fear is that Justin really is inheriting Pierre Trudeau's legacy. And you might say that that's a losing strategy. You might say it's a losing strategy because, as I mentioned, from after 1968, Pierre Trudeau lost every single election he fought outside of the province of Quebec by a margin of 2-1. So where's the support outside of Quebec? And in Quebec, the Trudeau name is not so hot. The problem is that we have been fed for 30 years with one biography after another, one CBC documentary after another, that's idolized Pierre Trudeau. We've forgotten about who he was and what he did, which is the reason why I wrote the book.